First things first, you need to get a container made of either plastic or metal, because glass will crack. I am actually going to use this metal thermos, which has a dent in it, as you can see, since it's my favorite metal thermos and it's got a dent in it because I dropped it. And yeah, hopefully freezing will undent this. So hopefully this works out. Next, you have to just put this in the freezer for a couple days. Okay, so I took the rest of my alcohol and I put it into this soda bottle right here, and I plan on taking this and actually putting it in the freezer as well, although I'm not too sure if there's room. I think I've got like 3 freezers in my... While I put it in the freezer, I'm shaking and repeating to decarbonate the beer, so that yeah, I'm just decarbonating it pretty much, so that, yeah, it's like, it doesn't explode. It kind of looks like root beer, actually. Okay, so now that this is all bottled up, I've put it in my freezer. This is down in my basement, so it's kind of dark, but yeah, you can see that this is in the freezer, and this is also there too. So now all we gotta do is wait until this big bottle freezes up, and once this is all frozen, then we can go on to our next. Upside down, and this way all of that alcohol, which has a higher alcohol content now, is going to drain. But I'm gonna put it in the fridge to slow down this process so that it's easier for me to control. It's done. You can tell by the white color of the ice in here. It's white, it's not brown. And the strong smell of alcohol emanating from this container. Well, this thing smells almost nothing like alcohol. It actually smells closer to like Capri Sun or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. That's how you purify alcohol. All of the ice in here, all of that ice has like 1% alcohol max, and this probably has about 20%, so we have purified it, which is a good thing for us. So yeah. So I'm gonna explain the science behind this. You see, alcohol has a lower freezing point than water, meaning that when you cool it down, and then you after you cool it down and stuff, and then you slowly unfreeze it, the alcohol will melt first, and you'll end up with a stronger alcohol than you started with. The downside to freeze distillation over heat distillation is that it also intensifies all the other contaminants like sugar and methanol. All of that stuff is also concentrated when you do freeze distillation, so usually you can only get the alcohol up to around 50%. Okay, so I just finished. There was a lot of ice in here. There's always a lot of ice. But it was all almost white. It had a little tiny brown tint to it, but that wasn't going away. So, yeah. That's about what you gotta do. I've got about 2 liters here, and hopefully I can fit it into there. Because my plan now is just to fit all of this into here instead of trying to fit it into the thermos as well. Okay, so that freeze distillation just barely fit into the root beer container, and then afterwards I'll show you what I was left with. Yeah, I have transferred it to this plastic container and this plastic container so that I can refreeze distill it. I'm not going to refreeze distill this little bit. I'm going to refreeze distill this stuff, and I'm probably just going to mix this in afterwards, since it's just so little. It's really not worth it, but it will eventually get freeze distilled as well. Okay, so after freeze distilling, this is what I'm left with. These 2 containers. This was the first freeze distilled one, so it's probably stronger. This was the second one, so it's probably weaker. I'm going to put this one back in the fridge since it's in a plastic container, and we'll see. And I'm going to completely freeze it. And I'm going to leave this one out for now. So yeah, doing yet another freeze distillation, and you can basically keep doing this until the alcohol won't freeze anymore, which is really cool actually. Like, it will have such a high alcohol content that it won't freeze in your fridge. And at that point, the only way to purify it after that is heat distillation. Okay, so long story short, I was able to get around more than 2 liters of alcohol, maybe 2.5 liters, down to 500 milliliters to distill, which was pretty impressive actually. That means that, like, if I could get it up to 50%, that means that it started at around 10%. So yeah, that saved me a lot of time. And I'm just going to show you how much alcohol I was able to distill out of, like, all my alcohol almost. I have one more batch and I'm going to film that distillation for you. Look how much alcohol. I was getting really low yields on my heat distillation before I started freeze distilling. And it took a really long time. It takes like 3 hours, so it saved me a lot of time just freeze distilling beforehand to purify it as high as possible. So yeah, hope you enjoyed and see you in the next video.